Hey guys, so that crack is that house. Everest, why do you not build on a slope? Hey guys, we are gonna keep talking about the elevation of a slope and why it's important. This is actually a mistake I made at this lot. I thought I would not have to build a retaining wall, but the surveyor set the pins back up against this mountain a little more than I would have liked, and I just went ahead with it, and I should have pushed back and had them push the house that way, or I would have had to build this nice looking retaining wall here. So that's the important thing of why we went over how you don't want to build down in a slope, but you also, when you cut into a mountain like this, you got to watch out for this, because the slope actually just came to about right here. But the city inspectors, they wanted me to build this retaining wall for safety. It added some money to the budget. And just always want to show my mistakes and things I'm learning so you don't make the same mistakes and learn. So this retaining wall, you can actually build it yourself for a couple $1,000s. I did not, because you got to be perfectly even with it. I was actually going on vacation, so I didn't want to deal with it. So I wanted to keep the process going. All right, Everest, why do you not build on a slope?
Because the mud will, because you need to do a retaining wall if you build on a slope, because all the water and stuff will wash down and go against the house, and you need to do it for safety.
That's right, all right. So that's why you don't build into one. Why don't you build below the road or down?
Because the water will wash from the road into your house, and instead of mud getting to your house, it'll be water.
That's right, all right, that's all you need to know. All right, I want to show the importance of compaction in this. So this particular lot, they have spent a week out here scraping the topsoil so they get the proper compaction for the footers. I got out here right before the surveyors just put these good pins out, and a friend of mine has been just out here a week. So I'm emphasizing this week because it's a week of labor that these people had to pay for, which is not cheap, just to get the compaction right. Footers aren't even in, and you are really paying the dirt guys a lot of money out here. They have had an excavator out here for a week running just to get the compaction right. Again, footers aren't even dug. And this lot, you can see, this is the street. You got the gravel over here for the driveway, and it's actually not that bad right here, but you'll see at the back end it drops off pretty dramatic. You can see the back end there of the previous house, back end of this house, then the back end of the neighbor's house. So you can see where it drops off quite a bit, and that's again going to be more in excavation labor, concrete. You're going to have those poured walls, brick, whatever, the block work, you know. So again, I just really want to emphasize, if you're building starter houses or rentals, you really want to stay away from this kind of a slope. Doesn't look like that big of a slope as the eye would see, but when you get out here and you do the proper site work, adds a lot to your bill, and then that's just money that's just going to drive your price per square foot way up. This is quiz time, homeschool. What do you look for in a lot?
Well, definitely don't have it below the road, because that is like definitely a no-no, because flood hazards. Definitely not gonna do that.
Okay.
You're missing one thing.
That's like the main thing for me, is like the flood hazards.
Hey.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know.
Hey guys, so that crack is that house, and the reason for the crack was the compaction was not done right. So you can see the steepness obviously from the back side of that house. that they had to work with. And they did not do the compaction right. There was no rebar in the footers, and from what I've been told, and the basement concrete obviously didn't have any. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an exterior version. Obviously very steep, so I'm just trying to do my best so you can stay away from these steep lots. Hey guys, I get asked all the time what to look for in lots. As you know, I build rentals, so I'm all the time looking for cheap lots, and you know, I'm encouraging people in my mastermind group to just always be hunting cheap lots. So thought I would do a visual, since I'm out lot hunting today, about kind of a tricky situation I ran into. So first off, my first rule is no flood zones. Okay, so absolutely no flood zones. Stay away, not worth the hassle, trouble, blah, blah, blah. Second thing, really try to stay away from slopes. We'll get into why later. If you stop watching, just know that if it's on a steep slope, you've obviously got a lot more dirt work, more concrete cost, more block labor, blah, 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 more block material cost. It's just tricky to build on. Third thing, and this is just a preference thing, but there's a reason, I don't like to build below the road. So with this lot, obviously, I know you can't see much, but here's the road. You can see behind me here, that's the slope. So there's the road again, and you can kind of see, we're gonna walk along, but you can kind of see how the lot here is below the road. Now, if you can see behind me here, there's a mailbox in the back, and this is actually 3 lots. I don't believe you can actually get 3 houses squeezed in here. Nevertheless, there's 3 houses. A big thing that you want to immediately test for or look for is the sewer. There's actually no sewer here, so you have to do septic. Now, interesting side note before we dig into slope grading and things like that is I got a lead for these cheap lots. As you can see, that there's no for sale sign. So my lumber supplier is actually trying to sell me these, and I think they got them. The irony, or something, how it's funny, an old bank I used to work for had these lots in their Oreo property, and we couldn't give these things away, these lots. So their reasoning was that they couldn't perk, meaning you couldn't put a septic field lines in here for septic. As you can see, it's a pretty tight space, and I probably didn't do enough footage, but there's actually, they're dirt cheap, but it's like they always say, it's cheap for a reason. So irregardless, let's get back to septic here. I have a really good friend, Tony, and he is an environmental engineer, and he told me that basically anything can perk as long as you want to spend enough money to get it to perk. So he can put in an environmental, like, structural system. I might be wrong on the wording of that, but you get the gist of it. If you get a good lot, and for instance, like a good mountain view or whatever, and you like love this lot and people are saying it doesn't perk, you can make it perk, but be prepared to spend a lot of money. These are just like little starter lots, nothing to get excited about, so I don't want to spend any extra money. According to my lumber supplier, these do perk, and they've got the paperwork to prove it. But here's why I really don't like these, and it's the slope isn't that bad, but I just don't like how it's below the street. Because when you're at the street, you're looking down at a house, and it doesn't matter if you're building a 5,000, 6,000 square foot house. When you're looking down, it's just, I don't like the look of it. Here's another reason. So here's the neighboring property, and you can see how the slope goes down. So you're basically having to build in a creek. There's a creek in front of the property over here and a creek behind it. So there's just water going all through this house. So you can waterproof that to avoid water. You can do French drains. You can do all kinds of things. But there's some statistic out there that basically says like 80% of damage with house maintenance is due to water issues. And when you're building, literally, you're building in a valley, so you're building basically in a creek or in between creeks, you're not setting yourself up for success. So I'll give you another overview. We went to that other house, and you can also see how there's some kind of drain right in front of these lots. So you just got water coming all angles. They need to just make this thing a community fishing pond or something in this area. So anyway, hopefully that helps. If you have any comments or questions, hit me up. Thanks.